Good morning. If this is your first time here or your 101st time, we are glad you are here. If you carry the weight of a weary world on your shoulders, or if you entered through the doors with a song in your heart and a skip in your step, we are glad you are here. If you are the loudest voice in the town square or the subtle hand behind the scenes, we are glad you are here. If you have failed once or 1,000 times, we are glad you are here. If you sing like angels or mumble behind the hymnal, we are glad you are here. This community is what it is because of your presence. So welcome. Welcome into this space of love, support, justice, compassion, fellowship, and worship. We are glad you are here. Welcome to this morning, this day, and this opportunity to be together in community, which is a time of joy, comfort, spiritual growth, and today, poetry. This Unitarian Universalist congregation is a place where we come to learn more about being human. We're not here because we figured out all of life's questions or because we think we've got it right. We come here to learn more about being in fellowship together, how to listen, how to grow, how to respect, embrace, and uplift one another, how to share our talents and passions, and how to collaborate for a better community and a better world, starting here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fayetteville. My name is Natalie Emmons, and I am your treasurer, seated on the board of directors. I am also an active member of our Pagan and Nature Spirituality group, Web of Life. I worked for the University of Arkansas as Director of Academic Affairs, and in my former life, I was a research scientist investigating topics like early science education and the cognitive science of religion. Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religious tradition that values freedom in religious thought and journey. I joined this spiritual community because I feel connected to two areas of thought nurtured within it: critical thinking and creative thinking. Unitarian Universalism upholds science, which challenges our intellect, and it upholds the creative arts, which speak to our hearts. Today, we celebrate the emotive beauty of poetry, one of many literary arts. We are glad you have chosen to be with us today and to be part of this celebration. Please do not hesitate to ask the greeters or ushers for assistance if you have any questions, need hearing assistance, or would like to fill out a visitor card. If you have joys or concerns you wish to share or mark private, you are welcome to fill out a yellow Joys and Concerns card for our minister or care team. You can find one in the seat back in front of you. You may bring it to the altar during the Joys and Concerns part of the service.
No, we're going to be just dropping those in the offering.
Okay. Okay, no worries. So that will go in the offertory basket. And we are a fellowship of action and activities. Upcoming events and activities may be found in the weekly email or on our website, and we will highlight a few of those at the end of the service. If you are a visitor and would like to receive weekly emails from us, please fill out the white card in the back of the chairs, and you can drop that in the offertory basket as well. I'd like to remind you to please turn off your cell phones and other devices at this time. Let us move into worship with poetry. Let us be willing to engage our imaginations and allow ourselves to be open to connection in all of its forms. I am honored to begin today's service with a poem I wrote last year around the spring equinox, following a very cold and snowy winter. And this poem is titled "The Longest Birth." A gray forlorn sky hangs in the window, adorned by speckled flakes of ivory snow. Winter-weary subjects are poised to sing, yet they wait for the thaw to feed spring's flow. A soft crunch underfoot the holly king, brass bells upon his leather waistcoat ring. Arms raised, he calls the lady of the lake, to make his exchange and the oak king bring. The wind stirs and whirls, leaves on the ground shake. That momentous event in her womb quakes, and gently risen, spring blossoms and sprouts. The longest birth a deserved splendor makes. A warm sun-bathed fog removes any doubt, as does the splashy return of wild trout. It is time to rejoice, carol, and shout. Spring's renewing kiss we shan't live without. Thank you.
This is not in your order of service, and I would like to thank Renée for her grace in including me and my absolute forgetfulness in gushing about how I wanted to do this piece, and we talked about it, but I never sent the email. I first learned this piece when I was in 8th grade. It is the prologue to the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer, and I will be reciting it in Chaucer's English. I love this because this is a strong reminder that language changes, sometimes drastically, but the feeling doesn't. Juan that April with his surest soot, the draught of March hath pierced to the root, and bathed every vine in sweet liquor, of which virtue engendered is the flower. One Zephyrus eke with his sweet breath, inspired hath in every holt and heath the tender Cropus, and the young Gasona hath in the ram his halve course Erona, and smaller fowlers, macken melodea, that sleep in all the night with open eye. Then pricketh him nature in here courages, the longen folk to going on pilgrimages, and palmares to seeking strange strandes, and fairne hallways couth in sundry Londes, and specially from every shires ende, from England to Canterbury they wende, the holy blissful martyr for to seek, for him hath helpen them when they were sick.
Beloved family, I am thrilled to be with you this morning for Poetry Sunday. I have been looking forward to this service since last year's. I began working here in 2007, and at my very first Chalice team meeting ever, I heard about UUFF's Poetry Sunday. Tressa Disney and Joyce Mendenhall expressed how much they loved Poetry Sunday, and I didn't interrupt and ask what it was because it was sort of obvious, but I didn't have any details. I just never forgot that reverent and joyful way that they talked about Poetry Sunday. I believe our Minister Emeritus, Reverend Rhett Baird, started the tradition, and since that first Chalice team meeting, I've heard several other people say that Poetry Sunday used to be their favorite or one of their favorite services all year. So with the Chalice team's blessing, I decided to revive this service last year, and so this is our second one. I asked you, the beloved congregation, to email me poetry and read it, mostly in short form, because y'all, poetry is good for us. And also, because I wanted to enjoy the poetry for my 50th birthday, which was Wednesday. So I know, I picked this, yeah. Thanks, y'all. I picked this service because I love it so much. So, a couple of quotes. W.H. Auden said that poetry is memorable speech. Robert Frost said, poetry is when an emotion has found its thought, and the thought has found its words. Poetry can help us develop empathy by understanding how other people think and feel. Therefore, dear ones, poetry is an important part of our lives and culture as it helps us connect with ourselves and others on a deeper level. Connection on a deeper level. One more time. Connection on a deeper level. And that's what we UUs are about. What is poetry to you? When I say the word poetry, what comes to your mind? Whatever poetry is to you, please sit back and allow yourself to fully enjoy this Poetry Sunday with me. Now, let's hear from RJ as she lights our chalice and gives us a poem by Edna St. Vincent Millay.
Please join with me as we say the words for lighting our chalice. Love is the spirit of this community, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in truth, and to help one another. Thus do we covenant together. My first poem by Edna St. Vincent Millay is a short one, but I still could not memorize it, so. My candle burns at both ends. It will not last the night. But ah, my foes and oh, my friends, it gives a lovely light.
Our first hymn is number 398, Rise as You Are Willing and Able. You heard the choir. Oh. Hey, David, pop this mic up for me. Oh, is it on? It's on. You heard this, the prelude, and so now let's all sing it together.
I don't really have a communion or a preacher in royal white robes. I eat bacon with pride. I don't have a random guy who died. But I have a community and a place for the new, accepting of all to our merry old crew. We shout and we stomp and we cause quite a big ruckus, but we learn of the different in every one of us, whether cheering in joy or fighting against malice. I'm happy to sing in my big happy chalice.
This one was written by a good friend of mine when he and his wife were teaching at the time, I believe it was college in Russellville so many years ago. Say, this is Corey Collins up here at Hudson Spring. I got a broke steel 12-inch flywheel drive shaft. The baler's got a 2-inch wide split down the middle of it, and she won't. Another one. I knew it from the ring, our new number, the old number of the Yale County Machine Shop. Farmers miles around and in the hills strike right to the problem like this. I see them surrounded, islanded by huge fractured spokes, toothless gears, iceberg hunks of twisted steel. This one on a Sunday. I at my desk upstairs, my wife and son at the laundromat, my time alone to write a poem. I let him talk a while before saying, I'm afraid you've got the wrong number. Long, suspicious pause. You mean this ain't the Yale County Machine Shop? But this here's what she gimme, hits the number in the book, and hangs up humiliated, stuck with his broken camshaft flywheel bushing. But I can't go back. The crumbled balls of paper, the typewriter's played out ribbon, the poem's not there, not moving. And I wish I had said, look, Collins, I'm sick and tired of all you dang dirt farmers wanting me to fix your dang tools. If you can't take better care of your equipment, then for Christ's sake, get a mule like your daddy had. And fix your own dang baler. And leave me alone down here at the Yale County Machine Shop.
Friends, I find great poetry in many Jewish texts. This is Ose Shalom Bimromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Alelu Ve'im Eru Amen. And this is for those who make peace in the high places, may they bring peace upon us, upon Israel, and upon the world.
Recently, I was visiting Ann Pritchard at her home, and she had this book on the coffee table. And I said, perfect. Is there someone in here that you could recommend that I read for Poetry Sunday? Without any hesitation, she opened up the book to Edna St. Vincent Millay. And I said, why did you pick her? I found out when I read a little bit about her. Edna St. Vincent Millay, who preferred the name Vincent, was born in 1892. She was an American poet, playwright, feminist, and activist. She was the first woman to receive the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry in 1923. Here's just a short excerpt from her poem, Renaissance. All I could see from where I stood was 3 long mountains and a wood. I turned and looked the other way and saw 3 islands in a bay. So with my eyes, I traced the line of the horizon, thin and fine, straight around till where I'd come, back to where I'd started from. And all I saw from where I stood was 3 long mountains and a wood. Over these things I could not see. These were the things that bounded me, and I could touch them with my hand, almost, I thought, from where I stand. And all at once, things seemed so small. My breath came short and scarce at all. But sure, the sky is big, I said, miles and miles above my head. So here, upon my back I'll lie and look my fill into the sky. And so I looked, and after all, the sky was not so very tall. The sky, I said, must somewhere stop, and sure enough, I see the top. The sky, I thought, is not so grand. I most could touch it with my hand, and reaching up my hand to try, I screamed as I touched the sky. I screamed, and lo, infinity came down and settled over me.
Are there any children in the audience, the congregation today, that would like to come and be with me? Children or youth? You do not have to, but you can. Seeing none. Okay, very good. Oh, yeah! Okay. Okay. I know you can't see me. That's okay. Oh, yay. Come see the pictures from here. Yeah. This is one of my favorite children's books. My boys have this memorized. It's by Maya Angelou. It's called Life Doesn't Frighten Me. You ever get scared of stuff? Sometimes? Yeah, me too. Shadows on the wall, noises down the hall. Life doesn't frighten me at all. Bad dogs barking loud. Big ghosts in a cloud. Life doesn't frighten me at all. Mean old Mother Goose, lions on the loose, they don't frighten me at all. Dragons breathing flame on my counterpane, that doesn't frighten me at all. I go boo, make them shoo,
I make fun, way they run. I won't cry, so they fly. I just smile, they go wild. Life doesn't frighten me at all. Tough guys fight all alone at night. Life doesn't frighten me at all. Panthers in the park, strangers in the dark. No, they don't frighten me at all. That new classroom where boys all pull my hair, kissy little girls with their hair in curls, they don't frighten me at all. Don't show me frogs and snakes and listen for my scream. If I'm afraid at all, it's only in my dreams. I've got a magic charm that I keep up my sleeve. I can walk the ocean floor and never have to breathe. Life doesn't frighten me at all. Not at all. Not at all. Life doesn't frighten me at all. And there's her picture. Okay, thanks. Did you like it? I love this book. I love this poem. Thanks for sitting with me.
Good morning. Can you hear me? I was having a casual text conversation with Renee and mentioned this poem, and she so graciously said, "Do you want to share it on Sunday?" And I was like, okay. So this poem is by Clint Smith from a new book called Above Ground. And I wanted to share it with you all because it seems to really capture the paradox of human experience in this interconnected web of life, both on a micro and a macro level. If you don't know about Clint Smith, look him up. He's pretty amazing. He has this new collection. He also is the #1 New York Times best-selling and National Book Critics Circle award-winning author of How the Word is Passed. But without further ado, here it is. This poem is called All at Once. It's a little heavy. The redwoods are on fire in California. A flood submerges a neighborhood that sat quiet on the coast for 3 centuries. A child takes their first steps and tumbles into a father's arms. 2 people in New Orleans fall in love under an oak tree whose branches bend like sorrow. A forest of seeds are planted in new soil. A glacier melts into the ocean, and the sea climbs closer to the land. A man comes home from war and holds his son for the first time. A man is killed by a drone that thinks his jug of water is a bomb. Your best friend relapses and isn't picking up the phone. Your son's teacher calls to say he stood up for another boy in class. A country below the equator ends a 20-year civil war. A soldier across the Atlantic fires the shot that begins another. The scientists find a vaccine that will save millions of people's lives. Your mother's cancer has returned, and doctors say that there's nothing else that they can do. There's a funeral procession in the morning and a wedding in the afternoon. The river that gives us water to drink is the same one that might wash us away. Thank you.
Yeah, kind of heavy. Many of the poems today have touched on many of the subjects in this next song. This is a song I wrote in the rolling hills of Wisconsin. I was out there just communing with nature and the grass and sky, big open places, and then I heard a loud explosion, and I hit the ground. And I didn't know at the time, but there was a military testing farm the next plot over. And I was on women's land as well, and so it really just coalesced into that moment of how there's good things and bad things happening all at once. And so this is my poem set to music, I Have Dreamed. I have dreamed, I have dreamed, I have dreamed, I have dreamed. I've dreamed of a woman giving birth to the world. I've dreamed our creation. I've dreamed of the frailty of the strength of the earth. I've dreamed she is whole. I have dreamed. I have dreamed. I've dreamed of a people, of a tribe standing strong. I've dreamed we come together. I've dreamed of the spirit, of the power, of the mother. I've dreamed we are connected. I have dreamed. I have dreamed. I've dreamed of the magic of the love universal. I've dreamed of the divine. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water. I've dreamed we have returned to the earth. I have dreamed. I have dreamed. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water, of the earth, of the earth. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water, of the earth. Can you sing that with me? I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water, of the earth, of the earth. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water, of the earth, of the earth. Last time. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water. I've dreamed of the fire, of the air, of the water, of the earth, of the earth, of the earth. Mother Earth. Feel the heartbeat of Mother Earth, of the earth.
Thank you, Jory. Thank you, everybody. Ooh, what do you think of Poetry Sunday so far? Yeah, me too. I'm having such a great time and having so many wonderful feels, from the height of the heights to the sadnesses, but that's what poetry does for us, isn't it? UK comedian Giles Brandreth wrote a book about memorizing poetry by heart called Dancing by the Light of the Moon. And in the intro, he says this: read on to discover the extraordinary brain-boosting, heart-lifting, life-enhancing way in which learning poetry by heart can change your life. Speaking poetry to unborn babies, infants, and young children can improve the speed at which they learn to speak and read and even write. Learning poetry by heart as a child can improve your ability to succeed at school, in exams, in interviews, and in life. Now, okay, this did come from that one book, and he is a comedian, but I think he's onto something here. I really do. People who learn poetry by heart do better academically, concentrate more effectively, sleep better. See, okay, you know what? Actually, I'm beginning to think that maybe Giles has gone a little bit over the top with this. But the fact of the matter is we can tell from today that poetry is good for us. Poetry can make you laugh and cry. Poetry can make you think and feel. Poetry can teach you, sustain you, and surprise you. Learning poetry can literally transform you, and anyone can learn 2 lines. Learn 2 lines a day for a week, and you've learned a sonnet. Later on in Giles' book, he shares a quote by Simon Armitage: "The poems we learn when we are young stay with us for the rest of our lives. They become embedded in our thinking, and when we bring them to mind or to our lips, they remind us who we are as people and the things that we believe in. They become personal and invaluable, like a talisman. And what's more, they're free. They're for the taking. We call it learning it by heart, and I think such learning can only make our hearts bigger and stronger. What words did you have to learn by heart as a young person? Do you still have any of those words in your heart memorized? Or maybe you memorized lyrics. Many of us did. I still do. I'm currently working on memorizing lyrics for a concert that I'm putting on with S.J. Tucker. We will be recording it tomorrow right here at the fellowship. And guess what it's for? Suj and I will be giving a small concert at this year's UUA's General Assembly. I know! I'm so excited! And y'all, I have to tell you, I am way over the top excited to represent UUFF at General Assembly at this concert. So my best friend Suj, she's offered us a poem.
'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. Oh, mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome raths outgrabe. Beware the jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jub-jub bird, and shun the frumious bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock, with eyes of flame, came riffling through the dolgy wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went clumping back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, Callooh, Calais, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the momraths outgrabe.
That's my bandmate. Yep, it's going to be fun. I feel so lucky to be here with you today, and I'll stop here. All right, next.
Good morning. I'm going to start with the poem Risk by Anais Nin. And then the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. No matter the amount you personally are able to share, your gift, combined with those of others, allows this fellowship to blossom. I offer you these words from Jacques-Yves Cousteau. It takes generosity to discover the whole through others. If you realize you are only a violin, you can open yourself up to the world by playing your role in the concert. Your offering will now be gratefully accepted.
I'm going to read a poem from the Sufi poet Hafiz. This is from the book The Gift. It's translated by Daniel Ladinsky. And funny story about this book real quick. So my husband and I both had a copy of this book given to us by a woman that we probably both were in love with at some point. And then we came together. I think I gave my copy away, so this is Philip's copy. But so this is called Now is the Time. I'm totally going to email her and be like, yeah, guess what I did today? I read from your book that you gave to Philip. Now is the time to know that all you do is sacred. Now, why not consider a lasting truce with yourself and God? Now is the time to understand that all your ideas of right and wrong were just a child's training wheels to be laid aside. When you can finally live with veracity and love, Hafiz is a divine envoy whom the beloved has written a holy message upon. My dear, please tell me, why do you still throw sticks at your heart and God? What is in it? What is in that sweet voice inside that incites you to fear? Now is the time for the world to know that every thought and action is sacred. This is the time for you to deeply compute the impossibility that there is anything but grace. Now is the season to know that everything you do is sacred. Thank you.
Sit and listen to the beat of the earth. Watch the cycle of death and rebirth. The breath of life is not just in you, it's in the forest and animals too. The rocks and rivers ever do sing, dirges for winter and hymns for the spring. The wind keeps secrets for hundreds of years. Safe are your worries, your burdens, your fears. The earth tells a story, and dewdrops that glisten. You have only to sit, watch, and listen.
Please join with me as we say the words and extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, the sea we must wade. We braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. And norms and notions of what just is isn't always justice. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country in a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gaze not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony to all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us that to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges that we made. That is the promise to Glade, the hill we climb if only we dare. It's because being an American is more than pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it. would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith, we trust. For while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption we feared at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation, become the future. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. Every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will raise from the golden hills of the west. We will rise from the windswept northeast where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover. And every known nook of our nation and every corner called our country, our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge, battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade of flame and unafraid. The new dawn balloons as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it.
I've got this big old box of flowers. Aren't they pretty? I'm walking for hours feeling witty, so I stumble upon you not having a good day. So I just say, hey, hey, take one of my flowers. And you say thanks, and it brightens up your day, and you head on your way. Now I have one less flower, but that's okay because I say I'll be okay. Just 7 pretty flowers all wrapped in a box. I wish they were limitless, but they're not. She sits in the corner crying, and I wipe her tears with a large sunflower, and she takes it and gets filled with joy, and I sink a little bit deeper. But that's fine, because I've still got some flowers left. I think some of them I should have kept. But it's too late now, because I'm helping other people, so that makes it okay. It's not too late. Another day, another flower. Are you okay? Another flower. Out of harm's way. Another day, another flower. 3, 2, 1 flowers left, and I'm running oh so low on the life that I once had. I take a glance at my friend in the garden, and they need a flower. So I debate to give them my flower, to give them the power of joy in their life and fight away any sour thoughts that they have every single day, and take it on myself as I drift far away. Deeper into the dirt I crawl like my flowers because I'm all out of sun. I wish I never had any flowers, because now like a vase, I'm empty. But at least everyone else has my flowers, and that makes them happy. So maybe it was worth it in the end, a hand I could lend. Yet I'm losing grasp on my own sense of life. But then I see her from across the room. She grips a bouquet of flowers, and so brightly they bloom. Behind me the darkness looms, so soon a tomb. But I take a step towards her, and her smile is like the water to my non-existent flowers. She hands me a rose, and her soft skin is like the sun. It nourishes the dark that I've been hiding in for so long. I've a flower once again, and happiness is where I seek, and maybe, just maybe, a whole garden I'll keep. So always hold on to your flowers, for when the days get sour, you'll always be able to go back to that flower.
I know it's me next. I'm going to take a turn here. Friends, Sue Coppernall wrote this piece back in 2014. It's called Hottest Summer Ever. Hot breath of the gods slams the chest, blinds the eyes, roars in the ears, silences the tongue, augurs a withering of hope for greening in this, the hottest summer ever. Caterpillars do not become butterflies. Blossoms on watermelon vines bring no fruit. Love songs fade into the night as lovers languish on these, the hottest nights ever. Breeze sears flesh, grass burns unshod feet, lonely porch chairs wait for brave souls to sit. No weary pilgrim pauses, nor do neighbors seek shelter from malignant rays of a scorching sun on this, the hottest day ever. There is no shade. Curling yellowed leaves drop from trees onto parched earth. Birdsong heard faintly at dawn brings no solace in the stifling air of dusk. We are bereft. We mourn loss of the nurture of our mother, the earth, and her healing tears, the rain. In our dreams, we reach to the stars, our illusion of cooling light, to renew and restore us in this, the hottest summer ever.
That's by Sue Coppernall.
Greetings, I'm Mary Oliver, who is like my favorite poet ever. This is part 2 of her poem. I know you never intended to be in this world, but you're in it all the same. So why not get started immediately? I mean, belonging to it. There is so much to admire, to weep over, and to write music or poems about. Bless the feet that take you to and fro. Bless the eyes and the listening ears. Bless the tongue, the marvel of taste. Bless touching. You could live 100 years. It's happened, or not. I am speaking from the fortunate platform of many years, none of which I think I ever wasted. Do you need a prod? Do you need a little darkness to get you going? Let me be as urgent as a knife then, and remind you of Keats, so single of purpose and thinking for a while he had a lifetime.
Think back, friends, to when you pulled into the parking lot today. How did you feel? And then we listened to a few poems. And now, how do you feel? Beloveds, the arts are not optional. They move us. They change us. They grow us. They expand our mind, our understanding of the world, and our place in it. I am overwhelmed with gratitude to be in our beautiful spiritual community sharing poetry with you all today. The greed of capitalism and other worldly things that we have to deal with the other 6 days of the week have no place here, because poetry and the arts and the spirit cannot thrive in that environment. That's why we show up. That's why we share our time and talents with UUFF, because UUFF is different than the other 6 days of the week. We get to be a part of something bigger that we believe in, where we can be ourselves and enjoy the arts, sheltered from the harshness of the outside world. I love it here. This week, intentionally take a moment and enjoy some poetry, or some theater, or some music, or some other form of art. You know why? Because you deserve it. You deserve the beauty in your life that is the arts. Thank you. Thank you for being at UUFF today. Namaste.
With appreciation, with much joy, and with much love, please join me in singing happy birthday to Renee. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Renee. 50, 50, 50. Happy birthday to as you were. Oh. I've dreamed of the fire of the air, of the water. I've dreamed of the fire of the air, of the water. I've dreamed of the fire of the air, of the water, of the earth, of the earth.